Hi, this is my review of the modern ninja battle RPG, Shinobigami. This is a role-playing game where the player characters play as members of different ninja clans. Because it is an over-the-top ninja anime-style sort of game, there's going to be a competitive element to the experience. You never know who to trust, who is going to be your ally or your enemy. It is quite common during a session of Shinobigami for player characters to backstab each other, to have all sorts of intrigues, deceit, and you can almost never predict the outcome. Maybe you can pay attention to some subtle clues, but you never know if the climax is going to result in a huge battle against a non-player character or against another player character. Perhaps there are sides with mixed forces, with non-player characters and player characters against other non-player characters and player characters. So this is a very exciting sort of game. It is story driven, but it still has a lot of strategic and tactical depth to it. Now let's talk about the quality, because I'm going to be reviewing both the physical and PDF version. Let's start with the physical book. The physical book is quite beautiful. It is this small hardcover book. It is printed in good quality paper. It's not glossy or semi-glossy, it's just good paper in black and white. It is quite portable and one of the sturdiest books that I have seen. Now when it comes to the PDF, and I'm going to talk about the organization and writing here as well, everything is well organized, written and explained. However, there are no bookmarks and no hyperlinks, so it's going to be very difficult for you to navigate the PDF. I think it's much better to print it, or even better, purchase the physical book. The PDF also lacks some sheets that you will use during gameplay. You need to download those from the official website. I'm going to put the link in the description below. And the illustrations are quite awesome. There aren't too many, but they are quite traditional in an over-the-top manga anime style. The graphic design and layout is very clean and neat. It is somewhat minimalistic. However, there are some embellishments on the edges of each page, and I think it fits the theme of the ninja, of being quite disciplined, very orderly in many things that they do. So overall the quality is pretty good despite the lack of bookmarks and hyperlinks. So I would highly recommend that you get it as a physical book, but if you just want the PDF, you definitely need to print this, in my opinion, to run it successfully during a session. After a very brief introduction to what this game is, as I told you, this is a ninja sort of game that you can play as an action comedy sort of experience. You can also play it more seriously. I think that the default setting is slightly, I wouldn't say comedic, but it's truly over the top, especially when you take a look at some of the illustrations. But you can play it in any sort of style, genre, any sort of mood, feel or flavor. It's all up to you. Then we have one of the best aspects of this book, in my opinion, which is the replay. This is basically a playthrough or a session report that happened between the designer of the game and his friends. This is a short story, a sort of, perhaps you could say a small, a very thin novelette. I'm going to avoid spoilers because it is actually somewhat funny. There are also some tense and exciting moments. It looks like an anime episode. It tells you a lot of the sort of adventures that you can run with this RPG. If you are a fan of manga, anime, ninja fiction, or perhaps some books, some novels, I think you are going to love the pacing of this game. It is quite cooperative, very collaborative, with a high degree or level of authorship on the part of the players. The game master, of course, is going to be running things with all sorts of mysteries and secrets, surprises, but the players have a lot to say when it comes to the actions and outcomes of different scenes in general, and we will cover that later on in a future part of this review. So the best part about this replay section is that it teaches you how to play the game without getting too deep into the rules or into the mechanics. It gives you a general idea. It shows you a little bit of combat, investigation, the interaction between the different player characters and non-player characters, the secrets, the hidden agendas, everything is right here. So it's a great start for this book, and it is, like I said, a bit lengthy, like somewhat like a novelette. Now, after all of that, you get a foreword to what the ninja are, at least when presented in fiction. I would have preferred it for a more pure experience, so to speak, that they use the word ninja without the plural. That is, in Japanese you say ninja to refer to ninjas. You don't say ninjas, it's ninja. Everything is plural and singular. It is based on context. It's for the same reason that you do not say sushis, you say sushi. But in this book they say ninjas, so maybe some purists will find that a bit distracting. There is a subtle or non-intrusive setting. That is, you can play this game using any sort of story, any sort of theme, any sort of setting that you like, homebrewed or taking some other world from another role-playing game or some work of fiction, or historical or pseudo-historical setting rather, because of the over-the-top situations that you're going to experience here. But the default setting, just summarizing things as much as possible, there are these beings known as the Shinobigami. They are kinda like demonic entities. Some ninja clans want to exterminate the Shinobigami, others want to wield the power of the Shinobigami, but they are just there in the background, as I mentioned. They could play a major part in your chronicles and scenarios, but if you want to base your adventures in other situations related to conflicts between the different ninja clans, it is quite possible. In fact, the replay gives you a great example on how to run such a scenario. So, in general, there is a strong supernatural element when it comes to the different ninja techniques that you can employ. So after that forward and some small introductory text, you have information on the different concepts of the game. You play this role-playing game using a handful of 6-sided dice. So they explain how to read the dice that you need to roll. Perhaps you need to roll 2 dice and one counts as tens and the other counts as a single digit. They tell you what defines a session, what is a game master, a player, a non-player character, basic concepts like that. And of course they tell you what you need to play this game. That is paper, dice, friends, and the rulebook, of course. I think that the game is somewhat complex when it comes to the interaction between the different player characters and non-player characters. So playing this as a co-op or solo experience that is without a game master, I think maybe it could be accomplished with some heavy tweaking using my method to run solo role-playing games with emulated player characters, which is Abraham's method. I'm going to put the video to that method in the description below, so check it out in case you are not familiar with it. After all of that, we have information on how to create characters for Shinobigami. After coming up with a general concept, you give your character a name. You have some very useful and neat tables to determine your last name, your first name. You can use these tables to randomly determine the different names and last names, but you can also choose the names that you like. So for example, you have a table to determine the last name, maybe it's a prestigious last name or a legendary last name. You also have a table to determine the first name, maybe it's a normal name or an unusual name, or perhaps your character has 2 names. When it comes to prestigious last names, you have names such as Otomo, Fuma, Yamaoka. You also have fictional last names such as Takahashi, Nezu, Yuki. You also have legendary last names such as Kurama, Himuro, Magatsuhi, Hasuba. You also have legendary first names such as Kuruwa, Azami, Kaede, Enju. You also have normal first names such as Jiro, Misa, Ryoma, Rika. You also have unusual first names such as Baron, Canon, Bond, Joe, or Venus. As you can see, those unusual first names sound more like something that you would expect to find in anime, manga, or perhaps Western comic books. Then you determine your gender and age, and you determine your clan. The clans in Shinobigami follow different purposes and objectives, and because of that, they may end up clashing with each other. For example, the Hirasaka Agency seeks to protect Japan's national interests, and they clash with the bloodline of the Oni, because they want to resurrect the Shinobigami, and that could put Japan in danger. That's just an example of the different correlations between the different clans. You have a correlation chart indicating such interactions. But depending on the session, it wouldn't be unusual for the Hirasaka agency to become temporary allies of the bloodline of Oni if some higher goal or purpose overrides what they are usually striving for. Then we have information on rank. After choosing a clan, a character's rank must be determined. Rank determines a character's power, prestige, and influence within their clan. All player characters begin at the rank of Chunin. This is the middle rank, but will become more powerful and influential as they gain experience. It is called merit in this game. You don't have experience points, you have merit points. Ninja of the Chunin rank have proven themselves as powerful and resourceful members of their respective clans. They are able to issue commands to ninja of lower rank, but are required to obey those above them in the hierarchy. You have a chart indicating the characters of Chunin rank, the Genin, the Jonin. Depending on your rank, you're going to have access to more skills, Ninpo, Ogi, merit. Ninpo are also a sort of ninja power that you can use in moments of great need. You could think of the Ogi as an ultra powerful secret technique that you can use in the most desperate times. As long as it remains secret, it is almost unstoppable. And when it comes to Ninpo, this would be more average yet over the top ninja abilities and powers. So a member of the Kusa rank would only have access to 1 Ninpo, 4 skills, and no Ogi. A Chunin has access to 4 Ninpo, 6 skills, and 1 Ogi. But if you become a Torio, which is basically like the grandmaster of all ninja, you will have access to 8 Ninpo, 8 skills, and 3 Ogi. You would need 100 merit to reach that rank, so it's going to be somewhat difficult in your average campaign. Now let me give you some more details concerning each ninja clan. First, we have the Hasuba Ninja Army. Their expertise is technology. Their enemy is the Kurama Shin clan. Their goal is to collect Ogi from members of other clans. Originally descendants of the legendary Saika Iki army, they focus on researching and developing new ninja equipment. Their mission is to research and reverse engineer all of the various ninja arts, so as to replicate them as tools and gear that anyone can use. Their ultimate goal is to unite all the clans under their banner. Then we have the Kurama Shin clan. Their expertise is martial arts. Their enemies are the bloodline of Oni. The goal is to prevent the rise of the Shinobigami. A clan of warriors, they were founded by the ancient Kyoto 8 warrior monks. The Kurama Shin clan are masters of incredible and powerful martial arts. They use these arts not only to strengthen their bodies and spirits, but also to ensure that monsters and ninja remain hidden, undiscovered in the shadow of society. They are proud and honorable shinobi. Next, we have the Lost Ones. Their expertise is stealth. Their enemy is the Hasuba Ninja Army. Their goal is to fight for their own reasons without being controlled by others. In truth, the Lost Ones are not really a clan, but nevertheless, they have power and influence that cannot be ignored. The Lost Ones are ninja that are raised free from clan influence, brought up in small villages or taught in secret by their relatives. There are also fugitives from other clans within their ranks. They sometimes band together to help and support each other, but they don't really share any common goal beyond that. Then we have the Hirasaka agency. Their expertise is scheming. Their enemy is the Otogi Private Academy. Their goal is to protect Japan's national interests. They are a Japanese secret intelligence agency with strong ties to the ancient Hirasaka Shinto order. Well connected deep within the government, their highest priority is the safety and raison d'etat, that is, national interest of Japan. Their primary tools are political and economic power gained through subterfuge and espionage. They manipulate from the shadows to protect Japan from the shadowy world of demons and magic, which constantly threatens to overflow into everyday life. Then we have the Otogi Private Academy. Their expertise is strategy. Their enemy, the Lost Ones. Their goal is to discover the secrets of others. On the surface, Otogi Private Academy is a boarding school for the elite and gifted, covering elementary through high school and beyond. In reality, it is a secret training academy for boys and girls with unique and special powers. They cannot control these powers by themselves without guidance and training. Otogi Academy has an extensive network of worldwide funding and research grants, as well as backing from several global secret agencies. As a result, they often recruit international exchange students. Then we have the bloodline of Oni. Their expertise is sorcery. Their enemy is the Hirasaka Agency. Their goal is to collect information relating to the rise of the Shinobigami. They are actually the descendants of the beings that were called Oni, or Tsuchigumo, in ancient times. In addition to human sorcerers and people with unusual powers, there are also many non-humans like vampires and lycanthropes called Night Guns in the ranks of the Oni-blooded. Having a long history of being persecuted by those in power, they have a deep hatred for figures and institutions of authority. And that concludes the review for today. This is just part 1. I hope you will watch the other parts of this review too. In the next part, we are going to talk about skills, Ninpo, Ogi, and many other things. As you can see, this game is quite over the top, and you will especially love it if you enjoy video games, anime, and manga, because this game allows you to tell those sorts of stories. Well, thanks for watching this part of the review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending Drive-Thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you and see you later.